there, Bill Hitchcock. It is September 18th, Thursday, and boy, we got a fish report to get out to you. Really what has happened since September 6th, for people who've been watching the show, since September 6th, we have been dominated along the coast of North Carolina with a very strong wind, almost hurricane force winds sometimes, gale force winds, lots of times, and well, let me go on and show you this, by the way. This is from 2 days ago. Look at that low pressure system right off the coast of North Carolina with gale force winds absolutely whacking the Outer Banks from the Nags Head area all the way down to Portsmouth Island from the front and back side. And that's what we've been dealing with since, again, September 6th, actually technically September 7th. So boats haven't been able to get out fishing. Well, they have now because yesterday, Wednesday, it calmed down and the boats headed on out. And we're going to get into that. But I do want to talk about this before we get too far into everything. We do from the National Hurricane Center. I want to show you that Gabrielle is going to turn into a, well, tropical, but it is going to turn into a hurricane. What you're seeing right there, by the way, the storm that's coming in behind it's only a 20% chance over the next 7 days of that turning tropical. But I want to concentrate on this one storm. Here is the Euro projections for September 21 and 23 when that storm turns into a hurricane. Take a look at this. This is the Euro, and again, it's showing September 21, 23. It does turn into a hurricane, but it does not turn into North Carolina. So we are safe in that regards. A hurricane will be offshore, will not make landfall as it stands right now from the Euro projection, September 21, 23rd. Always tune into the National Hurricane Center. That is the #1 source for stuff. But with that said, it could create some offshore and inshore swell. So we will see what that's all about. Now, since we've been so dominated about wind, I thought it most apropos to discuss wind and the forecast for this coming weekend. Again, this is Thursday when we're doing this. What's it going to be like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? What's the wind like? Take a look. All right, we're going to take a look at the winds. The winds have dominated the coast of North Carolina since September 6th. Not only has it affected fishing, but the livelihood and beaches and homes along particularly the Outer Banks. Right now, what I'm showing you is Thursday morning when I'm doing this. You can see, by the way, look up here in the top left corner. We'll show the wind speed and wind direction. Here out of the Outer Banks, right now, there's only like a 9-knot wind down here at Cape Hatteras. Same thing down here in the Crystal Coast area, 5-knot wind down here in the Cape Fear area, less than that. But let's move forward into Saturday and let's zoom in. This is the forecasted winds for this coming Saturday. You can see it has shifted, is coming out of the north-northeast, but still on the northern Outer Banks, it's like a 7-knot wind. Cape Hatteras, a 10, 11-knot wind. Down here in the Crystal Coast area, 10-knot wind. Cape Fear, 7-knot wind. This is nothing what it's been like for past almost 2 weeks. Highly fishable, so I'm glad to talk about that. Sunday, what happens? Well, the wind's still coming out primarily out of the north-northeast. It does pick up. If you look up here in the northern Outer Banks area, it's around 15 knots. Down here at Cape Hatteras, the same thing. Pamlico Sound, same thing. You can see a convergence down here. Well, let's go out here like at the Big Rock. It's going to be 18, 20 knots. That's going to be a little bumpy if you go out there. Here along the Crystal Coast, 12, 13 knots. Down here in the Cape Fear area, it's going to be about 10 knots. So what it looks like is on Friday, you're going to have a nice light wind coming out of the north-northwest. Saturday, you're going to have a nice nice light wind coming out of the north-northeast. But by Sunday, it looks like that wind, it looks like right here, there's a center of circulation from a low pressure down here in the bottom right corner. It looks like by Sunday, the winds will start picking back up, but highly fishable Friday and Saturday. I'd like to thank Satfish, the satellite fishing technology people, for supplying this information to us. Believe me, I've just scratched the surface of the services they have to offer. Go to their website, satfish.com. I'd like to thank Satfish, as I said over the voiceover there, for this satellite imagery. That is the projected wind forecast for this weekend, so it looks like it's going to happen. Now, Nags, by the way, the piers up there closed down. up in the Outer Banks. They closed down for a while because it was too much. But the Nags Head Pier says the ocean has calmed down and the fish are beginning to bite. Some big drum this morning with spot and sea mullets this afternoon. That's from yesterday. Take a look at this while I'm talking about this. This is a video from Jeanette's Pier from 2 days ago. Look at that wind. But they say right now, red drum, big waves. So far, red drum and spot and croaker. Not big waves anymore. Red drum, spot, and croaker. And that's been pretty much the report for that. And it's very interesting. I find it fascinating. We're going to see some pictures here real soon of how crappy the waves and conditions were. But drum still being caught. But please always be safe. From yesterday, Fish the Pelican out of Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Tuna and dolphin. They say a good day with a nice catch of dolphin and tuna. Happy to be back out on the water. True Grit Sport Fishing Charters out of Oregon Inlet got back at it today. That was yesterday. It's going to be a nice weekend, and we do have some days open now. Now, really for these offshore boats, since they haven't been able to get out and go fish, it doesn't mean the fish aren't there. Just keep that in mind, just because we're not getting fishing reports, and it's kind of spotty for us right now. It's just simply they haven't had a chance to head on out. Now, the Rodanthe Pier Magic Dry Erase Board Fishing Report, my favorite. They say fishing report for today, which was yesterday. They say last night saw some pretty good red drum fishing with several citation drum caught and released. Now, Carolina Girl Sport Fishing, this out of Hatter, say thank goodness the wind finally let off enough to get out today. Water was pushed way out, but found the change and got the guys a meat slam, wahoo, tuna, and mahi. Pretty good fishing today. Now, he said the water was pushed out. Now, he wasn't talking about, they're trying to find lines, temperature changes, breaks, things of that nature, which would normally show you. I didn't show you today because of the satellite imagery was not clear enough because of the cloud cover. So they're looking for that type of thing. And as I've been talking about, it's been a northerly wind. When the wind shifts out of the south, it'll blow stuff in closer. So let's see what happens as the week progresses. Spectacular out of Hatteras light tackle fishing. He said this was probably the windiest and nastiest day I have ever had to fish in. The fish were biting pretty good when we got chased in by a lightning storm. However, after we returned to a spot that I found to be calm enough to anchor up in, the fish continued to chew for Ben and Adam Southward and Evan and his dad, Mike from Central Virginia. Now, that's Ricky Scarborough talking. He's a local Kennekeeter, I assume, if the last name is Scarborough. If he's saying this is the nastiest he's been out in, it's pretty bad. Please do not go out if you're not experiencing in certain things. Don't try to, no. Now, red drum bait and tackle, look at this picture. I love this picture. They say bluefish and a couple of puppy drum this morning. That's yesterday, but the picture's from Monday when it was blowing the sand sideways. Kurt Philman from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, got this drum at 2 p.m. today at the point during the gale force winds. I do want to bring something up. One of the things about very strong winds like gale force 35 miles an hour plus, it doesn't even have to be that, is you get sandblasted. I mean, literally sandblasted. It hurts. So if you got a great idea to go out during a hurricane or a gale or whatever, just be forewarned. It can hurt. And that's putting it mildly. All right, trade winds, bait and tackle. Albie Mercurio caught some enormous red drum fishing the sound behind Ocracoke Island in a private boat. Nothing off the surf we haven't heard of. Doesn't mean they're not there. Now, I'm going to skip the Crystal Coast, Cape Lookout, Bogue Inlet, Beaufort Inlet area because no reports. Again, it's been very, very windy. Then the southern area, we've got viewer submission. Chris Foster of Gibsonville caught this flounder, 19-inch flounder, fishing at the mouth of the Cape Fear River near Southport with shrimp on September 4th. Way to go, Chris Foster. Another viewer submission, Tim Lassiter, got this beauty fishing just south of Carolina Beach Inlet along the eastern shore of Masonboro Island. Fishing a rising tide and drift bouncing a red-headed jig with a 4-inch white gulp minnow sporting a chartreuse curly tail, low and slow. Bang! 24-inch southern fat flatty, Tim Lassiter. Now that's the kind of report you can get into. He was specific. He said exactly what he was fishing with, exactly where he was fishing at, exactly how he was fishing it. Ta-da! Love reports like that. Thank you very much, Tim, for that. The Vonda K got out of Carolina Beach, got out yesterday. They said, we had a blast today with our very special guest. We got into some mighty fine triggerfish, one weighed in at 4.8 pounds. We had black sea bass, gray snapper, red snapper, and ringtails. Yay, he got out. Yay. Johnny Mercer's Pier out of Wrightsville Beach said a strong start to the day yesterday with several bluefish and Spanish mackerel, even a few pompano in the mix. Bill Viego's Spanish mackerel was attacked by a barracuda. You can see the results in the attached picture. I don't know what it is about those piers down there in Barracuda. That seems to be barracuda. Well, it has been since the summertime. I really have not heard such a concentration of barracuda anywhere else outside of those piers down there in the southern region of North Carolina. The Jolly Roger Pier out of Topsail says the drum bite continues. Ron is pictured with a beautiful upper slot fish. Great run of blues and Spanish on the pier yesterday, which would be the day before, and both hitting artificial lures. Bottom fishing has been good at night with drum spots and Virginia mullet in the mix. Bait fish continued to stream on by. Now, this is what it's fun. This is from the Curie Beach Pier. Tara Ann Thompson sends this in. Says stingrays were on the move this morning. Just take a look at this. And big old rays just swimming on by. So, and by the way, oftentimes with rays there's cobia, but it's kind of the wrong time of year for cobia. But look for that type of thing when you see big old rays swimming on by. And Mike Morris, I like this report. He says, I'll call bluefish blitz on Ocean Isle Beach this morning. Fishing at daylight, and it took 45 minutes to get to my second rod to get it rigged. Still only fishing one rod, Mike Morris. So he was got one rod out, boom, and he didn't have time to go to the other rod, and boom, it gets hits again. It took him 45 minutes before he could get his second rod rigged and ready and in the water because of the bluefish activity. And as we all know, bluefish are, I call them piranha. They're schooling fish. They attack each other. I don't know, sometimes like pier fishing, we can see it the best. You're throwing a gotcha plug out there, snag onto a bluefish, and as you're reeling it in, you see the other bluefish coming up and whacking the bluefish you're reeling in. All right, that's all that we have right now. Again, yesterday was the first day folks were able to get on out. So we're looking forward to this weekend when the wind has died down. The weather is evidently going to be beautiful, like low 80s, low chance of rain anywhere up and down the coast of North Carolina. Sunday looks like if it's going to blow, it's going to be blowing on Sunday, but we're looking around 15 knots. So we'll see what happens. So head on out there. Email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. Send me your fishing reports. Let's give us some information such as what you were fishing with. Show us pictures, video of the fish. And by the way, most people will take their camera and shoot video like this. It's a horizontal aspect ratio. When you shoot your video like this, 2/3 of your video is black. We want to see all of the video. So hold your camera like that while you're shooting videos of the fish. So email me, billhitchcock@mail.com. That's all the time I have for today. Until next time, see ya.